Well, the radio's dead. Let's see if my internet works. Oh man, I'm looking at these different printers, and I just really wanted something with clipper on it, and something I don't really care about the build sheet size so much as the quality. This one here is actually really interesting. I mean, what I don't like that they did was they put this whole front piece here and made this thing like really big. But I swear this is still the best deal I've seen for a printer. And I haven't had any problems with it at all, unlike the Ender 3 V3 SE. I've had nothing but problems with that thing. I printed this little, visualizer, they call it, water faucet wheel. This is a Boden tube, and it prints pretty damn good. And I'm using petg exclusively. I don't use PLA. I've used it a few times, and it prints really, really nice. It really does. But I don't think you're doing yourself any favors by only printing with PLA if the majority of what you want to make needs strength. So the stuff that I'm usually making is, like structural parts. Like I made this part. I'm not sure which one I printed this one on. This is a part to make this direct drive, which I was going to do that, but it works so good I don't see any point in changing it. It's not going to print any faster. So anyway, I still think this is a really good printer. I like it because it's got the sports, and unlike the other company, these are one piece. There's not a seam in the middle. The touchscreen is a little okay, so there's times when I went in to go print something and it didn't. And only in the print menu did it seem like I was just like touching on it. I'm like, the hell. But everything else seemed pretty good. And I think maybe it's just like where they want you to touch the title of it that I was doing wrong. But so I mean, it's got everything that you need and a dryer. I mean that's crazy for under $200. Something that has a 310 by 310 by 400 build sheet, for under $200, that's like nuts. And you would think it would be a complete pile of crap. It even has auto bed leveling, which works pretty good. And what I've done is I let it, when it does its print, I let it auto level every single time because it's actually pretty quick. I think it does like 1 and 2 and 3 times 3, like 9 or something. I don't think it does like 16 or whatever, but I haven't had any problems with adhesion on the sheet or anything like that, and it works good. It's just really slow. I'm not sure what the print speed usually is. I mean, like right now it says the 100, but whatever I sliced it at, I would guess the speed is 100% of that. That's a percentage, not the actual speed. It's probably a little faster than the pyramid printers. So I think it's like at 100, and they're usually printing at 50. But these are big printers. I mean, like you could print quite a bit of stuff on something this big. I really wish that most of the printers were larger, but I feel guilty buying a couple $100 small printer. It just seems stupid to me. This one here, it works good with the hairspray, and I just, you can always see what's been printed on there last. It was one of those tolerance things. This thing actually has the best tolerance out of all the printers when I print it. The tolerance things came out pretty good. And on the other one, I had a little bit of problems with the extruder because the thing was like not... the bolt was spinning freely in here, so it wasn't able to put enough tension. Let's see how these have a seam in here. So this printer here, imagine if you had stuck it out to here, you know, that's what the other one is. So they decided to not make the best use of space. If you like, look at this one, your computer and display are right here, and then towards the back you have your power supply right here, which honestly is a pretty good place for it. And they also didn't bother to put a rail in the back. And one of the things that is annoying about this printer is how this like constantly does that. But this other one has all of this right here, and then I believe the power supply is right here, and this is a drawer, which is thoughtful of them. This is a drawer, and you put all your parts in here, so that's cool. And then an access cover here for probably, I don't know what, and then you actually have a rail back here and kind of protects the back of the motor. This is totally upgradable if you really want to. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not deep enough into this yet to know all the ins and outs of doing stuff like that. But I'd love to take a printer like this and hook it up to run on Clipper and, you know, do all that. But I don't know how to do that with this. This is kind of an oddball. And I think it's got an 8-bit board. That's what it says in the listing. But it says it's a quiet board. I don't know what the hell that means. So, like, if somebody wants to drop a comment down below and tell me what the hell the difference between a quiet board and a loud board is, I'd love to know. I would guess it's not the board that makes the noise, it's the way the board controls the motors. I've heard this make some really weird noises, but it's supposed to be a quiet board. But anyway, I've heard the motors make weird noises, and so I'm not so sure about that. But mostly I've seen the 8-bit are considered to be not quiet. So it's pretty good construction. You know, it's all metal, and that's kind of what I don't like about these other newer printers. And also, if you don't have this kind of support here, like I can watch the SE, you know, move around quite a bit. And I think also when you have a larger printer like this, it's more likely to stay put. You know, it's got some weight to keep itself grounded. So I definitely think this is one of the best deals that you can get if you wanted to print big stuff. And honestly, like, I think if you had no experience with printers whatsoever, I think this thing is easier to use than an Ender. I mean, you got all the upgrades that you'd have to buy for your Ender, for the most part. You've got the metal extruder, and it's not a dual gear, which, in my opinion, from what I can tell in my research I've done, is that a dual gear extruder is not actually better. You can only push so much filament through the hot end if you can't, you know, get it to do anything better. So, and if your filament is slipping, okay, so let's say this thing's slipping, either on retraction or extrusion, then there's an issue with the hot end, probably. So all you're going to do by adding a dual gear extruder is you're going to shred the filament and make a mess. And then you're going to need to recalibrate your E-steps. And if you don't have an Ender, you have a printer like this, you're not going to be able to calibrate the E-steps without flashing the firmware and doing some custom stuff, which, you know, whereas with the Enders, you can go in the menu and adjust it. You know, it allows you to do that. But so this has the filament runout sensor. It's got the all metal extruder that's not going to break on you, hopefully, like the plastic one on the Ender 3. It's got the touch sensor, And it runs at, if I remember correctly, pretty much like the same Creality style hot end. So all that stuff's pretty easy to deal with. The ends over here are adjustable, and then you can adjust this one here, and there's a centric wheel underneath the bottom third wheel here to adjust that to make sure it's nice and tight, but not too tight. And from what I understand and what I can tell from my experience, when you tighten it, you want it to where you can push it, and once you put a little bit of pressure on the wheel and slide the carriage, it will stop and slip with pressure, but not normal pressure. So, and then same thing with these ones here and here. And it's always a good idea to take a straight edge or something and measure this side and make sure you're the same distance on both ends. And if you're not, then you can adjust these. I haven't had to do that on this one. This one's been good. I did have to do it on the Ender 3V3 SE, and it was off by a lot. I have not checked to see if the print bed is bent. It's not completely flat, but it's not screwed up like the SE was. So really, I just haven't had to do anything with it. I just print with it. It's not really super duper hard. There's not a slicing software profile for it. Sunlu has been really good about sending me useless emails back and forth with information on how to do it and where to download the firmware. And they sent me a link on their website of where to download the Marlin 2.0 or 2.1 or something like that. So before this printer, there was an S8 and an S8 Plus, I guess. So this is the S9 Plus, and I believe there wasn't a whole lot of difference, but this is basically your Creality cr10 V2. And then if it was direct drive extruder, it would be a V3. And really, there's no reason that you can't use those profiles, and that's what I'm using. So I'm using Cura, and I'm using Creality slicer. I prefer to use the Creality slicer because Cura only just says cr10, and you don't know which cr10 that they're using, because there are a bunch of cr10s. So, and some aren't even this build volume. So the 310 by 310, I think some of them are 300 by 300. I don't know, but this 310 by 310 is the same as my pyramid printer. And I can print with either profile, the V3 or the V2, and it really seems like it does about the same. So what I've tried to do is just like with the other ones is I had more of a problem with stringing. And so I tried to adjust my retraction settings. But out of the box, with this one here, there are some benchies on the card they give you, and they print really good. And I forget what the hell it was that I printed on it now, like a cat or something, or I think it was like the Ninja Cat thing. So anyway, for $189, you can print big, huge cosplay stuff, masks, Mandalorian mask, whatever you want to print. I mean, and it goes up high, so I mean, you get that kind of volume too, 400. So I just haven't really thought of anything large to print with it lately. I've been using it for things here and there when I'm busy with the other printers. So I'm having fun with it, and it's like I said, it's been a lot easier to use this one than that Ender that everybody raves about. So it's not nearly as fast, but it just works. So anyway, that's my take on the Sunlu S9 Plus I'll put a link down in the description. They're on sale on Amazon right now. I don't know if they're gonna ever put out another printer, so this might be the last of the last, or they might be getting ready to do something new. But they also have another version. If you look in the listing, you can look and see that they offer two printers. They have for this, and the other one's called the T3. And the T3 is set up exactly the same, except for it's basically an Ender 3. And so it's got that 220 by 220 bed, I think, and has kind of a similar thing here. I don't know if it's touchscreen like this one is, but it's two. How much was it? 119? Yeah, 119 from one seller. Somebody else is selling it for 129. This one's also being sold for $199. I paid $199 for mine, and then it went on sale $189. So, I mean, it's a steal. If you need to use this to print something big, instead of spending $350, because I've been like, that's like basically, I saw an Ender 3 Neo Max or something like that was 300 by 300. Some of the longer K5, they're like close to 300. I mean, yeah, and most even all the regular 220 by 220 printers, you know, if they're half a decent printer, they seem to be close to 300. So, there's nothing in this price category.